Let's begin with the Secret Service being accused of deleting text messages that could be critical to investigating the events of the insurrection. How could they be deleted? In a letter this week to both the House and Senate Homeland Security Committees, the DHS Inspector General writes that after his office requested full electronic records for an evaluation of the Capitol attack, the Secret Service deleted a significant number of text messages from January 5th and 6th of 2021. Now, this letter was obtained by NBC News after its contents were first reported by The Intercept. Meanwhile, the Secret Service is denying that the messages were deleted with malicious intent. In a statement.
Oh, really? Oh, really?
Well,
okay. Yeah, they also denied what everybody inside the White House is saying about Donald Trump lunging at Secret Service agents and choking them and grabbing a will. It's interesting. You have the facts. You have the reality, and then you have the Secret Service denying that reality. This is the second time now in a week that that's happened. And you even have a D.C. cop now saying, yeah, what we heard Cassidy Hutchinson testify about happened. I was in the motorcade and heard the traffic over the radio that this was happening. So, again, I'm really wondering. I know that Trump politicized the Secret Service. I'm just wondering who's willing to go to jail lying through their teeth for Donald Trump.
Well, in a statement, a
Donald Trump may
spokesman
end up going to jail. Who in the Secret Service wants to go to jail?
A spokesman claims some of the data that was lost during a pre-planned device replacement program that began on January 2021, before the DHS probe into the insurrection even began. Now, he also notes that the Secret Service has been fully cooperative with the DHS investigation.
Okay, but hold on. Just let's take that down because it's nonsense. The Inspector General.
I wonder who ordered that. If it happened.
The Inspector General ordered copies of those text messages and said they deleted them after the Inspector General ordered them. So Secret Service wants us to believe the Inspector General's lying. Somebody's lying. Somebody needs to be hauled before Congress to testify.
It seems like a huge stretch at best.
Let's bring right now NBC News correspondent Julia Ainsley. She covers the Department of Justice and the Department of Homeland Security. So, Julia, help us out here. We've heard reports, many reports, that Donald Trump politicized the Secret Service agency, moving friends and allies into high positions. And so over the past couple weeks, we've had testimony from Trump insiders inside the White House talking about this incident about Donald Trump choking a Secret Service agent, grabbing the steering wheel. Now, we've heard other people say, yes, that happened. Now we're hearing D.C. cops saying that happened. But the Secret Service, off the record, denies it. Now we have this. An Inspector General says, hey, give me all your text messages. Give me all your electronic communications so we can figure out what happened on January the 6th. And the IG says they deleted the texts after the request. What can you tell us?
That's right, Joe. So the timeline here, you're spot on, and that's critical because anyone who has ever had their records requested or subpoenaed knows that it's when you have that request that you need to immediately preserve all of those records. Now, the Secret Service is saying that they were doing this program that started before the request where they were replacing all of their devices. That was ongoing, and so that is why these messages, at least some of them, we don't know if all of them, were deleted and couldn't be handed over to the IG. The IG also said in that letter that it was lawyers at the Secret Service that came in between that request and the time where they ever even responded, further delaying and probably diminishing some of the information that they could have come. They said that that was a delay and that they clearly are slapping the Secret Service hands in that. And Joe, you mentioned, of course, the Secret Service role in that very salacious conflict that we heard about from Cassidy Hutchinson. But there's also another piece of the Secret Service was critical in on January 6th, and that was their responsibility to protect the vice president. And we know that it was Pence himself who defied Secret Service agents and said, I'm not getting in the car. Now, if he had actually complied with the Secret Service, he would have been taken away from the Capitol and wouldn't have been in the position to certify those election results. In other words, actually giving victory to the insurrectionist. So that is is another reason why DHS IG would have wanted these text messages to figure out why Secret Service acted in that way, what kind of threats they perceived that day, and how that led to that decision where they thought they needed to get the vice president away from the Capitol. All of this is critical just in the very day-to-day rigor of the DHS IG being able to oversee this agency, an agency that's had a lot of problems, especially since it was absorbed by the Department of Homeland Security, but also it's critical in understanding the events of January 6th. And we have to point out they also wanted the records from the day before, which begs a lot of questions about what did the Secret Service know, what was it planning for and expecting before this insurrection even took place, Joe?
It's just absolutely remarkable. What can you tell us about, because we've heard a little bit about it, after Cassidy Hutchinson's testimony, there was some talk about how Donald Trump had politicized the Secret Service. What can you tell us about that side of the story?
Well, it's definitely one that we know that has been drilled down on. It's something that as soon as investigators at this House Select Committee found out from Cassidy Hutchinson about that back and forth, that everyone's tried to get more of a direct account, because as you remember, Cassidy Hutchinson was really relaying what she had heard. But we know there were police scanners, there were people there. But of course, Donald Trump had a policy of trying to put his own people in the place of security. We know that the Secret Service director just announced his retirement after 25 years, someone who had served through many administrations would see himself as apolitical. But there were a number of people working for the Secret Service who were security details appointed by Donald Trump himself. That is key in determining exactly what happened that day and who might be complying or not complying when the Select Committee or now the Inspector General is trying to get answers in terms of Donald Trump's actions that day. And then also the law enforcement response, which is such a key part, whether you're talking about Capitol Police, other parts of DHS. We reported here at NBC that CBP, Customs and Border Protection, were actually uniformed and armed, ready to go, but were kept waiting in the basement of the Reagan building during the insurrection that was happening just blocks away. A lot of questions about law enforcement response, Secret Service being pivotal, and the fact that they were responsible for the president's security that day, would have known his every detail, every movement and request, and also, of course, protecting the vice president as a mob was chanting that they wanted to hang him, Joe. I can't even believe I'm saying that.
NBC's Julia Ainsley, thank you very much.